Welcome to Overseasoned.
It's only going to take one take.
I actually kicked him out of the restaurant.
Why?
Gotta bitch to someone.
Gotta bitch to somebody, and I'm good to bitch to.
I thought you were from Spain.
Yes, I am.
Oh.
Sí soy.
Gotcha.
Soy chorizo.
Oh, no.
You've gone into Martha Stewart land.
It's good. It's just not live.
Whatever.
Okay.
It's like a scene from Cocoon. Like the sun goes down.
You don't want to get blacklisted.
You know what, Mr. President? Is this what you want?
Save it.
Save what?
Just save it.
Save what?
Say it. Save it.
Say it
You
or
wanna
save it?
Save it. Save it.
Are we
Now.
recording? So what's wrong? Why don't you tell me?
This is why I didn't want to sit straight across, because like the aggression.
Yeah, but
It's
you
like-
feel it, right?
I feel it. That's what I'm saying.
But you
What's
tell
wrong?
me how picky I am.
You're so picky.
What's
You're
wrong with
so
being picky?
Well, it's just everything is never quite just right.
Oh, why do you pull your tweezers out?
You've been watching
Why you
us
gotta pull your tweezers
I'm
out?
not that kind of shit. You know I'm not that.
Come on, you've been that chef.
No,
You guys never had a tweezer?
No.
No?
But I did bring small tongs to the world, I believe.
What are the small tongues?
In Vegas, like the tiny tongs, the really delicate ones, not
like the cute-
tweezers, not tweezers.
What do you use the small tongs for? Like for the lemon or like to put the shrimp on the Bloody Mary cocktail?
You can use them for everything on the line, but they're
Really?
more delicate than the big like clumpy.
So they're not
tongs.
quite tweezers? Are they? Do they still have like the?
They're, small, they're short. They're not
do you
like
still,
long.
Do you still every time
Have
before
you ever
you
seen
use them go?
tongs? Have you ever seen tongs?
Yeah, of course.
Have you seen a smaller pair of
I
tongs?
feel like every chef
That's
has.
what they look like. They look like a small pair of tongs. They're probably about 5-6 inches.
It just feels like it wouldn't be gratifying to do the Chef Tourette's thing where like every 2 seconds it's click, click, click.
Clicking it. Yeah, that does get annoying. But so I found these small tongs
Okay.
in the buffet at the employee buffet when I was working in Las Vegas.
Did you steal them?
I'm
Like
sure.
how did said tongs get
Everything was
out
kind
of the buffet?
There's kind of an ebb and a flow of materials throughout the casino, as you well know.
Okay, so what casino is this?
This was the Mandalay Bay.
Oh, nice. In Vegas.
Yes.
Okay, and so you found the small tongs.
1999. Yeah, 99.
This is back when they made the tongs out of real stainless steel,
Yeah.
not out of
so
aluminum.
There's tongs at the employee buffet. I'm like, these things are great. You can do everything with them. They're not big and clunky. So I started taking them and using them on the line. Went back to New York and brought them with me. Asked the restaurant to order a bunch, and everyone started using them. Now they're everywhere. I'm taking credit for that. Brought them from the buffet into fine dining.
There you go.
Crossed that barrier.
That's what you do, man. You just-
That and square quart containers. I was always a nut job about square containers in the
you
restaurant.
did or did not like them?
I demanded them.
Square
Yes.
quart containers?
You know you have the round quart containers, you put one in and they all kind of come out.
Yes, yes. It's a waste of space.
Nightmare. I'm like, how is it that we have round containers?
So wait, so where are these square quart containers?
What do you mean?
I've never seen one before.
You got to look. They're out there.
You gotta look.
You got to find them. When you find them, you can't ever go back. You can't.
Do you guys hear this? Anyway,
So you okay?
How do you like the setup?
I see you like.
how do you like the setup?
I don't know.
I'm
Always gotta-
fat, dude.
Oh, come on.
My
You're always going to
ass.
kind of like do all these different little.
My
this
ass
little
like is
dance.
juicy, you know?
You
like
wanted this setup.
I know.
to
I
make it
wanted
look
to
like it's a
switch it
different
up.
day, even though we're-
it's not a different day. It's the same day.
It's the same day. We just did the first pep. We just did a podcast right before this, and here we are again.
All
but
right.
it looks different.
I'm gonna go like this.
It sounds different.
This makes me feel like I'm
on
about to
vocals,
expo
too.
on a busy night, and you're
All right.
telling me that you just. This is the way that the tomahawk comes out.
Eat
Two
it.
tomahawks sliced down. Is that how it comes out?
Watch the wait staff like put the wrong temperature in.
I know.
Watch it was some kind of technical glitch on the POS.
Could have been. That's why they're
Speaking
called a
of, did you
POS.
just get like an email about something about
Yeah. So by the
point
way,
of sale system
we're
for the
at
people out there.
we're at Burst Creative Studio in Quezon City, Manila, in Cubao, right? This is Cubao.
Cubao?
QC.
QC.
It's not Cubao. No,
Quezon
it's not
City.
Cubao. But we're in QC.
You got to say it though. Everybody
Yeah.
knows you're half local.
Cubao. I love that one. Thanks, Jerome, for teaching me how to say that properly. But anyway, we're in Manila. It is 10:49 on May 16th, but at home it's 10:49 on May 15th.
Exactly as far away as you can get. It's like on
Exactly
the
as
exact
far
opposite part of the
away
world.
as you can get from the chefs of America, except for the one that's across from me. Although, we'll have to get into that later.
Let's do it.
Do you still feel like a chef? Anyway, So I got this text, and these are not my words. These are the words of someone else
Reaching out,
reaching out, right? And I will not mention who they are. Here's the last picture he sent me, which was on May 4th. It's a Philly cheesesteak concept that is outside of Philly. Anyway, so here's the text. Yo, this is at 10:38, which is about 12 minutes ago. Yo, because only chefs find it appropriate to text about business things anytime after 7 p.m. in the normal fucking world.
Yes.
Thank you, chefs.
After 7, it's usually.
Thank you for helping us all assume your schedule and your way of doing things.
Don't say it's just the chefs, but anyway.
It's not
Proceed.
just the chefs. It's the chefs
Restaurant.
and their friends.
Yep.
Restaurant people.
Yeah.
10:38. Yo, I've got a couple questions. Give me a call when you have some time.
Oh, I love that one. They're ever going to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Come on. Give me a
A
call.
chef saying, give me a call when you have some time. I have time during the day.
Yeah, that was-
I have time starting at 8 a.m. every day. Pretty sure you're asleep.
And pretty sure you're not going to answer the phone, no matter what time I call, ever.
Ever. Okay, so, yo. What's wrong? Everything okay? Yo. I've got a couple questions. Give me a call when you have some time. I need a food cost app that works with Clover so I can analyze my costs and analyze. I need a food cost app that works with Clover so I can analyze my costs and show them to my retarded investor. Do you have something you recommend? Not just food cost, like total cost of goods purchased. Doesn't even have to integrate if there's another company that has like better features without integration, but that would be easier. Dude, totally, this is me. Dude, totally. What's the best email for you? Then email. And I haven't read these parts,
Oh,
but
he actually.
fuck it.
entered into a
Yeah,
conversation?
he actually sent the email, which is that's like step 8
Yeah.
in the evolution.
Is those what's end? He needs answers.
Yes, in Darwin's evolution of a chef, it's the ability to share your email address is like 8, right? That's like when the fish develops hands. Now the fish has opposable thumbs. Okay, so here's the follow-up. I'm too busy to have the conversation with my investor every week about the financial stuff. So if we have a dashboard that we can look at, he can look at it and see it all in a freeze time and not have to fucking bother me with bullshit. Look at this. This is not made up. Okay, he's continuing to text us. Because obviously we're crushing it. But he's using the profits and the money to cover his other fucking problems. That he's so all stressed out, so it'll help ease the things between us. I only have 3 providers, so it should be pretty easy.
3 vendors, do you think?
I guess, yeah, I guess this is what happens.
Okay, let's break this down.
Yes.
Somebody needs more money for something, so they're saying, keep the cost down, right? Is that what's happening? Is that how
So
you-
it sounds to me like somebody's got the checkbook, and
And I think that's the investor in
The
this
investor.
conversation, I would imagine.
I would imagine the investor either owns the space or had a bad experience with the first time he signed a lease in the first operator and switched it to my friend who now is the new operator. And it sounds like because obviously we're crushing it, because obviously we're crushing it, but he's using the profits and the money to cover cover his other fucking problems that he has. So he's all stressed out. So it'll help ease the things between us. So sounds like the relationship's in the shitter right now. And it sounds like said investor helped our friend open a cheesesteak place. And now he's using the profits and the money from said cheesesteak place to cover up the other problems.
Who knows what those are? So they're looking for a system so he doesn't have to talk to him anymore, basically.
Right. It looks like...
Here's your dashboard. There you go.
It looks like, yeah. So, I mean...
But things are great. So what do they... They just need more money. That's what it sounds like, and that's not a problem that technology can solve.
Did you ever talk to an owner who's like, I need to know how this now, and like it's a constant report that they need.
Yes.
It's just some other Excel report.
They have a slow week and they want to cut staff.
Yeah. They're like, they told you to open earlier and close later, but the labor's too high, that thing. So. It sounds, it's...
Got to put more things on the menu to get more people in.
Let's talk about what's right here. Now that we're doing like a deep dive into what the fuck is going on here, let's start with the beginning, the simple. I want to congratulate our friend on opening a cheesesteak place, and he's only got 3 vendors. Fantastic.
Easy. Simple.
Bread, ribeye, probably some cheese,
Rizwit.
onions, little lettuce, tomato, yeah. So, applaud.
What are the sides usually with the cheese house place? Fries?
Yeah, fries, onion rings.
Fryer stuff.
Yeah, I would say
Easy.
so. And then, they might have, let's call it a chicken cheesesteak option, right, for the dainty folk. And then they've probably also...
Dainty folk?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Listen, when I was even chubbier than I am now, there was a moment when I went through chicken steaks.
You just have 2?
No, I convinced myself that was the way I was going to...
That was the way you were going to get out of it? The endless swirl of...
Oh, God, they're so good.
Chicken ones?
No, real cheesesteaks are better. Because the chicken ones, especially like now that you really think about where this chicken is coming from, like commodity conglomerate chicken breast that's thin sliced. I'm still hungry, but
it's probably all frozen. You in Philly, you go to those cheesesteak places. It's all like frozen and sliced thin.
Yeah, it's like
pho.
It's like
right?
exactly, like pre-prepped and all that. But anyway, but I want to applaud said chef. Good job on opening a cheesesteak place. Nobody needs another tasting menu, or do they?
There needs to be a few sprinkled throughout.
How about a cheesesteak tasting menu?
I'd do it.
Yeah, me too.
I'd do it.
I would happily go through there. Okay, so he kept it simple, and it sounds like they're doing great. I'm glad to hear that. Sounds like, I don't think they've been open for more than like a month, and it feels a little rocky already.
It does.
Right?
Judging from the tone of that text.
What should I respond to anything to see if he responds again?
Let's talk through it a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
What do you think they're looking for? Because they need system. You can figure out food cost so easy.
Or can you? Now you can, because we invented Shoebox, and then a bunch of other providers copied our
Purchases
stuff.
divided by,
right? So now,
sales and purchases.
now that the
Especially on such
industry
a simple
exists, it is much easier, Of course, but okay, so you scan your invoices, and you know how much you spent, and then it's tracking all your ingredients for you. What else do you need? You know what it is? I think they've been open for a month, and it's time to pay the vendors.
Could be.
And, it sounds like the investor is like, yo, what's up? I need the invoices. I need to figure out who I'm paying, when it's due. He might have actually called up and yo, you need to pay so-and-so, or I'm not getting a delivery. And it's starting.
But it's only a month, and he's already taking the profits and using them for other means. It's only been a month.
He's too busy to have a conversation with the investor every week.
On week 3 or 4, maybe 5.
I wonder if I could find out when this opened. But anyway.
I'm going to guess that's around the 3-month mark.
I don't think so. I think they've only been open for a couple weeks.
How long did it take to get open, maybe? That's
knows?
why it's time to pay vendors.
Maybe.
Time to ring the register and start paying off some bills.
Yeah. God, ring the register.
But
That's
it does seem a little tense.
PTSD.
It does seem a little tense all of a sudden.
It's too soon to be this tense.
This is the only time we can talk to our chef friends because
Right.
it's midday here and
Oh my
they're just
God,
getting
it's
on
the
their
only,
second.
you're right. This is how we can communicate is move
Be
to
on the other
Manila,
side.
be on the other side of the world, then we can have these conversations during the day.
Sure.
Okay. Life hack number 1. Or restaurant tech hack number 1.
That's not
Move to
there's
the other
restaurant
side of that.
people. They're not all chefs. They're not all chefs causing all these problems. You know?
Yeah.
There's a whole other side of the equation.
The IT guys.
Yeah, the IT guys.
The IT guys
The guys
love
guys
to
who are,
mess
like,
up a deal.
Polishing their shoes with olive oil in the back, the expensive olive oil.
Do you guys have like a third backup of the invoice copy that I can put in a repository somewhere
Right, on
in the
repository,
desert of
AWS.
Nevada, but it has to be an FTP file
That you
because
pay for?
all the data infrastructure that I've currently has is from 1984, but I'm going to pretend like I'm up to date with all the most recent things because I read it about it one
The IT
time in
guys tend
TechCrunch.
to perk up whenever we have a contract in place. They're like, oh, we got to pass it by the IT guy because
Oh.
it's technology.
Gosh. Whew. Anyway, so, all right, so yeah, so they're looking for, honestly,
Okay, wait. He's looking for
a way not to talk to the investor, number 1.
Number one, A. He's looking for a way to have a dashboard of food cost.
Yes. And he mentions that he's
cost
using
percent.
Clover POS. Now, I've never used Clover.
Me neither.
But I would imagine, for a cheesesteak place, it's pretty simple what you need.
Yeah.
Right? You probably have 10 buttons.
Buttons, yeah.
Coke, Diet Coke.
Fountain
Cheesesteak.
sodas. Just pull it down to one.
Right, fountain soda. Exactly.
Medium, large.
Medium, large fry. Or maybe just, let me see if I can actually find this place and their menu.
Well, so they have a point of sale system. Good. That's been
Yeah.
clear. So they're looking for a way to get the food cost percentage automatically.
Yes. Which means that you're going to have to have the sales data, of course.
Yeah, but isn't that a QuickBooks? Just
Actually, I think Clover has an automatic integration that goes directly into QuickBooks Online.
That's what I'm
yes,
saying.
Yes,
Like, that's
yes.
QuickBooks. That's what you really need. Something to feed in, make sure sales feeds into QuickBooks, make sure purchases feeds into QuickBooks. QuickBooks is the center of your universe there. For a simple
Okay,
establishment.
so dude, it looks like this spot officially opened in mid-April.
Okay.
So it's a
A
month.
month.
So
Wow.
bills are coming due. See that?
Yeah.
Okay, so they got the classics: pizza steak, Philly cheesesteak.
I never had a pizza steak. It's just tomato sauce, right?
Yeah,
Is there cheese on it too?
it's provolone or mozz with marinara or tomato sauce.
Okay.
Pizza steak, Philly cheesesteak. Looks like they do one with lettuce and tomato. Not quite sure. Macaroni salad.
Salad.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Looks
okay.
good.
I mean, look, chicken cheesesteak, South Philly favorites, the Works steak, peppers and eggs. They've got egg and cheese, sausage and peppers,
Peppers and eggs.
chicken
Sandwich?
parm and a chicken cutlet. They have hot dogs.
Turkey sausage. Oh, they got a
Okay.
big menu. Okay.
It is a solid menu. Okay.
Ham hoagie,
A little chicken
veggie
fingers,
burger, turkey burger. They got a lot.
They got a lot.
This got a lot going on. I can
stuffed
see.
peppers, 3 cherry peppers stuffed with prosciutto and provolone. I love those.
Nice.
I love those. Salads, little C's, little house. Then they got the drinks. And they got Mexican Coke. Fanta grape.
They've got a ton of stuff. Looks like a
Hank's
little.
birch
It looks like
beer.
a deli, in a way.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like a steak deli. All right, cool. Oh, and they have a not steak,
What's that?
mushroom steak
Ah.
for our vegetarian mushroom cheesesteak. Excellent. Okay, cool. So, man, it's a bad sign if things are this spicy. This, can you imagine?
the investors
Thank
in
God
your
we never
background.
got investors. I mean, well, friends and family.
Right.
most of you guys are paid back, so get off our back. But it's nice. It's nice that we never got investors.
Now.
It's nice now. It was not nice for the first 5 years.
Or
how many ulcers do you think you had? Or have?
Just one big one? Is it? I don't know if they're separate. They've all kind of grown together.
Congealed into an all-in-one ulcer. Yeah. Yeah, thank God we never got investors that are like breathing down our necks, telling us what to do.
They can take things in weird ways. And he's saying investor, not, CFO or something, right? So it's an active investor, actively involved in the business.
Yeah, which on its own is scary. I mean, look, if you get the right investor, I'm sure it's just like with anything else. Get the right relationship.
It's all fun times till it's time to pay the bills.
It's all fun until it's time to pay the bills. And it seems like it's time to pay the bills.
One investor is like, yeah, we should get a small plane. Like
a small plane?
He was just like saying ridiculously random expensive stuff all the time, building this restaurant. Yeah, we should get a small plane. We can go around and, I don't even know why it came up. But
I don't remember this guy.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah,
but just like throwing stuff around until it comes time to actually, like, fuck you time, right?
Yeah.
Now it's time to actually
when the money is starting to leave the accounts, that's when shit gets serious.
Right. Well, I hope he comes up with a good system. What are you going to tell him? You're going to tell him QuickBooks.
Well, so he's already got QuickBooks. I would.
No,
I wouldn't.
Why not?
There was a point in time where I was excited to work with all of our friends. And remember, like we would like go to our friends and be like, yo, we've got this incredible new software. It's going to automate all of your purchase analytics and data. It's going to organize all your invoices on the cloud. We're going to make it so it's never been easier to understand where you are from a financial perspective and communicate and collaborate with your team to make sure that they're accountable for the purchases they make. Remember that?
That was
and nobody wanted it.
That on the website?
Who the fuck wants this, right? That's who we got met with. But they did us a favor. All of our friends who never actually signed up for our software did us a favor because you think I'm going to deal with this guy?
True.
You think I'm not? You want to deal with him?
What solution? He's obviously not asking you to use your software. He's asking you for your advice.
Why would he ask to use our software?
Never will.
Why would he ask to use the software we painstakingly iterated on and invested in for the last 11 years? Why would he do that? I'm glad he's not, though. Thank you.
So you're going to suggest
Cogswell. It's a great platform. And Bill Lindsay, look, first off, he's the man. He's a sweetheart. He cares about. He's the only guy who's been doing this his whole life that still loves every second of it. Bill Lindsay, you're amazing. How do you do it? We hop on calls sometimes, and he talks to me about like random food concepts, and for me, on the inside, I laugh, and I'm like, how do you deal with these people? Because I mean, look, this text, I laugh on the inside. Like, of course, do I want to help the friend and make sure they're like on top of their finances? Always, 100%, right? But I don't want to deal with them. And
you'd be getting
Emerita, Sophie, Sean, this is how much we love you. We're not going to have you deal with them. And then more importantly, it's like, then you're getting the side text like, yo, we had a weird week. Like, is it cool? Like, we're going to open 4 more of these, but we had a bad week. I don't want to. Is it cool if we like skip this bill? I don't want to deal with that.
Agree.
I don't want to deal with that. And you know what?
Do you think it's the best solution, though? Do you think that Shoebox is the best thing for him to use?
You mean Cogswell?
No. Do you think that Shoebox would be the best thing for him to use?
I think Shoebox would be a fantastic
easiest
tool for
thing
him.
for him to use, I guess.
What's easier than Shoebox?
True.
Nothing. We know. There's no other platform that you can upload a fucking napkin that says, I owe you to the hostess for a fucking dozen eggs. And our fantastic team will figure out.
True.
An invoice number, a vendor, what GL to assign it to, who's owed the money. Like, our team is fantastic. it's not just the machines of the world, the AI of the world
Right.
that's going to figure this stuff out. You need somebody who cares and wants to actually. I think what we learned a long time ago is the less we have to interact with the end customer, usually the happier we are.
True.
So the better the team is trained, and the better the data processing is, and the better the software is in the training. Shout out to Em and Sophie for getting all these people set up on such a high quality interactions at the beginning. The better. But long story short, there's always, then look, it starts with, hey, let me introduce you to the owner. Then it follows up with the owner, like, it'd be great if you could,
Right.
great if the payroll could be imported. And then, maybe you can give me alerts when the payroll is too high, or you can give me alerts when
Yes.
somebody forgot to clock out,
Yes.
or you can automate a new
We've definitely heard it
staff
all.
onboarding so that you automatically can read my mind and know what I'm paying them by the hour. And if they have a tip credit that's due, it just, where it's
Snowballs.
I want to know how much cheesesteak costs. I want to know how much a cheesesteak costs 6 months from now when Biden signs a new bill that's going to soften
Get
the
a little
beef
political.
market. It's just, how this goes.
True.
And what they really want is R365 with a dedicated staffer,
True.
an analyst to review each of the line items, and then an executive assistant to interact with both the owner and the chef so they don't have to talk to each other anymore. They want all this for free.
Yes.
That's what they want.
This is true.
And listen, taking the personal relationship out of it, because I do love this guy and I want to see him succeed and I've known him for years, taking the personal relationship out of it is usually better.
I mean, of course.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
And then, and look, it's a great platform. Bill will be gracious, we'll onboard him, we'll get all the data he needs. And if they want to get to a point where they're doing inventory, they can do it. If they want to get to a point where they're doing recipes, they can do it.
Right.
Can integrate with QuickBooks, can do all the stuff that they need to do. And we can keep our asses out of the drama.
Sounds good to me.
Perfect. So, yeah. Anyway, so what were we going to talk about, Tony? We're here in Manila. We're at the Burst Creative Studio. We're on the other side of the world.
We're going to talk about restaurant etiquette.
Restaurant
So many conversations
etiquette.
about sending steaks back and all that kind of thing led us to be like, what is a good diner? And for me, your opinion would mean you worked in the front of the house.
Yes.
You know the dining. You've seen it all.
I've seen it all, and I'm very attuned with the dynamics of a restaurant. And what actually kicked this conversation off was I was at a bar the other day with our friend Rymar and his friend. And his friend works on Southwest Airlines. And I got into a bunch of little details about the...
Works on what on Southwest Airlines?
she's a
Marketing?
stewardess or
Okay. Oh, works
steward.
literally
or
on the airline.
they're not called attendant.
Right.
She's a flight attendant. And she started to tell me all these little details and things about the experience of working on the airplane
I can only imagine.
that it started to feel like she was just working in a restaurant in the sky.
Sure.
Right? Like, as she described
I mean, that's except with the whole component of safety and all that.
safety and regulations and all this.
And maintaining composure throughout a difficult situation.
Yeah.
Right? It's
And-
not comfortable. No one's having a blast
No,
on the flights.
no. And,
right?
and something she brought up that I very often take for granted since we fly often is how few people actually get the chance to fly. A lot of people are flying for the first time.
Really?
Yes. And she was describing like how people don't know what to do when they sit, or they don't know where to go if they're going to the restroom, or there's way too much going on in an
We should have her on the
airport,
show.
and I want to invite her on the show. Yes. But she's like, she said that she often has this struggle, especially with new flyers, on whether she should try and impart some of the knowledge on them to make it easier on the next steward or attendant that has to deal with these people, or if she like kind of goes through like the normal day-to-day and just lets it go because
right.
she's fucking over it, right? And it got me thinking, like, do we as restaurant people owe it to the world at large, the barbarians at large? Do we owe them some information or some etiquette, some tips on how to be a good diner?
I think we do, absolutely.
Well, that's where this all came from. So
you think that the stewardess should provide some tips, like a little card?
Well, we talked about it, and if there's a certain level of karma that comes along with gently and politely trying to help people along. And look, so many of you out there don't want to be good guests. That is your prerogative. But if you want the better experience...
Well, who doesn't want to be a good guest?
A lot of people don't give a shit.
Oh, they're going to cause the same problem every time as a matter of course.
I think a lot of people just want to complain so they can feel special.
Ah, okay.
You know?
What percentage of the you're looking at a dining room on Saturday night, full dining room, going to do 2-3 turns, 2.5 turns.
Okay.
What percentage of people do you just know are going to create problems just because that's what they do?
I would think, you know what? It's not as much as you think, honestly.
But it's the 1%.
Right. I'd say 1 to 5%.
Okay.
Are just
but
there
20% of the problems
to cause shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, just on my flight here, there was on my flight here from from Hong Kong to Manila. There was a lady who was like going on and on about her back hurt, and one of the attendants was like, "Hey, listen, you have to put your window up and sit straight for takeoff. As soon as we take off, you can lay back and put your window down. It's just the regulations of flying out of here." And this woman was like, "I paid good money to be in this seat, and I'm going to sit the way I want." And dude, it got to a point where they had to get like one of like the more senior attendants to come out and be like, "If you don't put the window up and sit up straight, you are not going to be able to take the flight. You have 30 seconds to decide if you want to fly with us or not." But like, that's what it came to.
And this must happen every single flight.
I can't imagine.
Every single flight.
I can't imagine the kind of bullshit that these poor people have to deal with. And more importantly, think about it. Like, you know, you've got your status, I've got my status. I didn't come to appreciate that on, let's say the more, I'm on American, you're on Delta, right? Like at that level, there's a lot of business travelers, there's a lot of consistent travelers, there's people who want their status and want, so you're paying a little bit extra and you get more services and benefits with it. And with it comes a different quality of client or guest. Now, you're on Southwest, you're on Allegiant, you're on Frontier, there's a different kind of crowd who's...
Different expectations, for sure.
Well, different expectations, I think a different level of experience. Like I don't know many people, it's not to say it doesn't exist, but I don't know many people that are on Frontier that are like on some like status level and like are constantly using. Now you could, but I guess
first-time flyers.
The point is a lot more first-time flyers and inexperienced travelers are on the more budget airlines. And long story short, it's funny. I watched this person go through an entire existential crisis. Like, is it my responsibility to make it easier on the next flight attendant that's going to help this guest? Or should I just say, fuck it, because there's just a whole brand new trough of brand new... I think
the 30-second rule is a good one. You have 30 seconds starting now.
To like try and help this person?
Right. Not help. Well, you're not going to help that particular person. You just need to help everybody else out on the plane with getting this sorted out so they can go to where they have to go.
Yeah.
Right? You're not attempting to help that person. It's more managing the entire room when one person's making a scene that you can make sure everybody else is okay. At a point, right? When somebody's really causing a fuss, it's like they're starting to, other tables are starting to watch.
Yeah, they're starting to hurt the experience for everyone else.
Right.
Agreed. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. You got your cute little baby, not so little anymore. Do you guys go out to eat with him?
Sure.
And so what's his etiquette like in a table? And at what point will you stop the shit? I'm going to ask you, I don't have kids, so I'm going to say etiquette and rule number one. Okay, you start early.
We go early, right? So we're not trying to go at 8 o'clock.
Okay, so you're right.
Going early, you're going to make sure he has things to do. I don't know what parents did before iPads. I truly don't know. What do we do? What do we do as kids?
What did we do as kids?
Do we just get whacked and like...
Yes, what we did was shut the fuck up, eat our meals, and hope that there was another chance at going to Chili's next week.
It can't be that easy. It can't be that easy.
Dude, listen, there was fear before. I remember growing up with fear. Not that like something super horrible was going to happen, but like that either I would be embarrassed. Like, there would be many times where an aunt, mother, dad pulled me aside and said, "Do you want me to beat your ass in front of everybody? Is that what you want?" And of course, my answer is no. I don't want you to beat my ass in front of everybody. I want you to do it in the confines of our own house. So anyway, that's where it starts. There is no fear anymore. Everyone, like kids know about DIFUS at like 5.
There must be an age, because there's a whole group of time when you just don't do anything, right?
Now look. I think peeve number, and look, I have many friends with kids now, and all of my friends, I think, at this point, have worked in restaurants, so they understand and they have a level of empathy for the dining room. But I don't know, man. If your child feels like it's appropriate to throw cereal or kicks or throw bread, just throw anything at the dining room. Like that shit would not have flown.
No, that's something
in the Maria's Corena household.
Right.
Because I love to eat, so there's nothing's leaving my table. If anything, it's being stolen to come. But that's number one. If your child is a crazy mess, etiquette. Come on, somebody has to clean this up.
Yeah. Could be a big tip. What would you rather have? A 40% tip in a little mess, or a better behaved 2-year-old?
Honestly, I'd rather have an appropriately aged burgundy drinker. That's what I'd rather have.
That's not the choice, though. Of course.
Yeah.
But if you had to have a misbehaving
I'd rather
child
not serve buttered noodles. That's what I'd rather do. No, but of course, if I had my choice, look. If the kid is cute, like your child is very cute.
It's not about cute. It's about
yes, it is, because an ugly kid does not get away with the same amount of stuff.
It's about the parent even caring, right? It's like, you.
Yes, and there's a way to be gracious about it. Like, I'm so sorry. This little pain in the ass one day may come back and order a porcini ribeye, but for now, they're ordering buttered noodles and making a mess. And I'm throwing you a 40% tip.
Though, we're having to manage the table for the child in a way that I feel like the wait staff should kind of have it under control.
Give me some help.
Like, don't give him a glass.
Yes. It's a two-way street.
Take the silverware away from that side of the table, right? Because he's going to grab everything. Everything.
Right? Like when dinner's coming,
nothing,
and everybody gets a steak knife because you're like,
yeah. Like that's definitely happened before, and we're like constantly moving stuff around the table. And part of it I understand. It's like it's your child, it's your choice. Don't take the initiative to decide what my child needs, right? But the glass was one that kind of got me a lot. Like,
got it.
And they put it back and refill it. Oh. Like, can we get a plastic glass with a lid and a straw?
Sure.
For one, that's entertainment to a 2-year-old. A straw.
Yes.
That's a toy
but Tony, we're going to take it back. What about the turtles?
What about the turtles?
Yeah, remember, like, right before the pandemic, everybody was worried about the turtles, and we stopped with the plastic straws. It could be a paper straw?
Sure.
Cool.
So that the child has a reason
to choke on paper mache?
You've got a bone to pick.
Straw
You got a bone to
agnostic.
pick with those straws.
Nobody cares about the straws anymore. It was
No
such
one
a big
cares
deal.
about any of that stuff once they have children and they're just grabbing,
Right.
fighting,
Just trying to make it through the day.
anything to get
Yeah.
through the next half an hour of a dinner experience that is driving me out of my mind because,
Right.
we've spoken about how we feel in restaurants and causing a scene and all that kind of stuff, and I'm completely preoccupied with managing the child.
Right.
I'm not enjoying anything. Nothing.
Right. Well, listen,
just, like,
I mean,
swatting his
that's
hands
kind of
and
like the
moving stuff
microcosm of
around.
life, right? Like you have a child and like nothing's for you anymore, Tony.
The other day we were at some place, and there's a certain time when it's just like the downhill goes quickly.
Yes. What's your threshold of time with a child going out to eat?
I'd get there at 5:30 and be gone by 7:30.
Okay, you got 2 hours tops.
Right. That's general. You don't need 2 hours
No.
really at that time.
Yeah.
But you have to, you go to the bathroom and you make a little trip of it, and you're like, they had these drawings up on the side of one of the.
Oh, it's
walkways.
time to stop and look. Yeah.
And then he's grabbing these magnets and he just takes one and just throws it across the room.
Yeah.
I'm like,
See?
didn't see that coming.
Right.
Just happened. Like,
Right.
what do you do? And then you just a few, like 2 or 3 of those that you can see the devolution
Yes.
happening, and you're like, all right, I'm out. And
It's time to go.
Right.
It's time to go.
Time to go. Just stop trying to pretend that things could be okay if he gets a dessert. It's not.
No.
Right.
Yeah, the dessert is only fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's interesting, Tony, because I've never actually thought to myself about how to help ease the pain of a parent because I've never
Haven't.
been a parent. I mean, there's little things, of course.
Like, what do
look,
you do when somebody
All right.
shows up with a 3-year-old?
Somebody shows up with a 3-year-old. Step number 1, restaurants, listen in, have some sort of coloring,
Yes.
crayon, something,
Yes.
right? We're here to save everyone's dining experience, not just the parents who decided it was time to go out to dinner. And listen, the parents, you deserve to not have to cook and do dishes also. And it can't be pizza every fucking day, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. You deserve a night out. Especially, look, the way I gotta now I'm putting my altruistic hat on. If it's a 5:30 table that I wasn't gonna get either way,
Right.
I'd rather you come in and have a nice dinner, as long as your child doesn't throw a steak knife across the room.
Right.
Right. Now, if your child does throw a steak knife across the room, I just want you to pretend to care. You don't have to care, but I want you to pretend to care. Like, no, and then go back to eating your crab cake, right? But just the no makes me feel like you care for a
We're all on
second.
the same team here. We're
We're all on the same team. But okay, so you got to have a coloring book. You got to have a crayon. You got to have something.
Even if
the
because
child
it's new
can mess
stuff for
up.
the child, so he might be tired of playing with his own box of crayons that you bring along faithfully to everything.
Sure,
But if
yes.
it's a brand new thing and a little
Yes.
package that he can open up and play with
Yes.
colors, yeah,
Yes.
it takes up some time.
Yes. The other thing is, there is a certain magic to anything a child can use their hands with,
Don't
right?
grab everything.
Well, right. So let's give them something that maybe isn't a problem. Like, as an example, like a piece of baguette is
Just a food
lot
item.
less of a mess than, for example, lavash crackers. And trust me, I've been here. So I've been in situations where I'm like, okay, this child is going
It's
wild.
the kids menu. There's always a kids
Yeah.
menu of most of these places. It's
Okay, fair enough. What are the top items that you can order on a kids menu? What fingers, right?
always chicken fingers, which I usually eat. It's like I don't eat
It
chicken
brings you-
fingers, but I know that my kid's gonna eat a half of one, and I'm gonna eat the other 4.
Yes,
Yeah.
but do you order them like excitedly, knowing that you
Yes.
get? What is your
Absolutely.
dip of
I get them
choice?
for me.
You get them right.
Yeah.
Right. It's actually, is being a father now mean that you get to order kids stuff
Absolutely.
and nobody judges you for
Ice
it?
cream all the time. It's always there.
Ice cream
You're
all the
always kind of
time.
polishing off
Every
things.
course
Yes.
is an ice cream course. So will you dip a tender in some ketchup?
Yeah. Why not?
Will you dip
I mean,
a
there's going
tender
to be ketchup on the
in honey
the
mustard?
basket of stuff. Whatever. It's dipping sauce.
aioli? Like what is
aioli?
your number one?
Aioli?
What is- yeah.
What kind of aioli you eating with
Oh.
a chicken finger?
I don't know.
What kind
like
of aioli are you serving with a chicken finger?
Dijon aioli. A honey Dijon aioli.
Honey, whatever
Okay.
is around. You're not picky
don't-
at that point. It's already cold and gnawed on and slobbered all over by a child. You're just gonna, put it down.
Your child wants you to have an easier time digesting
Right.
this, prefabricated,
You know, the first few
conglomerate
times
tender.
you package it up and you think, I don't want to waste food, but it's going to come and sit in your refrigerator for 3 days until you throw it away. So you might as well just
Unless
eat it
you have
right
that
there.
one extra whiskey after your child has gone to bed and the trauma of them throwing a magnet has subsided, and then you're like, there's
All about
tenders in the
cold fries.
fridge.
Cold fries and tenders all the way.
Okay, so I think we've touched on something important, that your child is an extension of you at the table. Now, when I had guests come in with children, one, it's like, man, the high chair. The high chair is always a thing.
Yes, it's a great thing. It keeps them contained. They can't get out of that thing.
Right.
They sit in it, they're locked in.
So essentially we're talking about like a prison, like a wooden prison for the
Something to
child.
hold, something.
Corral them.
It's a corral.
Okay. So have a high chair, have crayons, and have something that a child can play
Some
with.
paper thing. Yeah.
Okay.
That's all you need.
Okay. What kind of food items should restaurants have?
I think you can pretty much you could make a children's menu with whatever, right? It doesn't have to be like always stuff from the freezer to the fryer.
Okay.
Mashed potatoes
Okay.
and chicken fingers, of course, is always a thing. But I'm trying to think of a menu that you could pull things off of to make a... My kid is a somewhat adventurous eater too.
Yeah,
so I'm
I
lucky
think
'cause
your
I've fed
kid
him a lot
eats
of stuff
well. Yes.
Early
Yes.
on, like he'll eat salmon and
What's his number one? What is his wedge and porcini ribeye? What is his go-to?
what he takes down the most.
Yeah.
Doesn't even think about it. Is I make him ground turkey, cook that down with a little bit of onion. Sometimes I throw a little turmeric in there
Woo!
just for fun because
Yeah.
it's supposed to be good for you and anti-inflammatory and all that.
Yeah.
And then mix that into mashed sweet potatoes and throw in some frozen peas at the end with butter and milk.
Okay.
So it's like a sweet potato mash with ground chicken and peas. And he puts that down.
Wow.
But he
loves
also
that,
eats
huh?
like cold salmon salad
nice
with dill
he
in
eats
it.
everything.
Dill,
With
onions. It's
If there-
surprising, yeah.
You should admit the dill and see if he's still into
But
it.
he'll like it one day and he'll absolutely not like it
Understood.
the next day. So
All right.
you're still got to experiment.
I want to pose a question to the world at large because it just dawned on me. Okay, so I think almost every restaurant, maybe not Le Bernardin, they would, I'm sure, like get a squab and pull the tendon out and then buttermilk and whatever French shit you do and then, fry it by hand so they can charge you $70-some for
I'm
a
sure their kids
partridge
in New York,
tender.
They grow up on that. The partridge tender.
But I'd say the vast majority of restaurants in the United States, they have tenders in the freezer, ready to go at all times, because the excuse is we've got to have them for kids.
But it's not on the menu generally.
And what percentage of those tenders are actually eaten by the children?
Oh, it's 5%.
Yes.
5%.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah.
Because we all know those tenders are for the line cooks. And
That's always the line. Like, you guys are begging for tenders.
we are begging
Chance.
for tenders. What do you mean?
That's the power right there.
Right. It's the
Power
one
of being able
reason.
to cross that imaginary line, take something out of the freezer, and drop it in the fryer.
Honestly,
power.
there is a power to just dropping things in the fryer that I've always wanted and never had. Well, when I opened my restaurant, I finally had that power. But I think I went through a 2-week period where I'm like, wonder
the
what happens
serving
if you
of food
put
just popped in my head.
dough in the fryer.
The serving of food, like, I'll go and serve pizza at my kid's school, like
Yeah.
on Thursdays. It's like pizza day.
Yeah.
And it's a completely volunteer thing, right?
Yeah.
You just show up and put pizza on a paper
It's the
plate.
equivalent of opening a restaurant. You're just volunteering, except in this case, you don't have to worry about the
Or make
utilities
pizza,
and
everything
stuff.
just shows up, you put it on a piece,
That's
take
nice.
one piece off, and the teachers will come up and be like, can I have a piece of pizza? It's like as if I'm the gatekeeper of pizza, and I have the ability to say no, or
It's like,
you want
so,
it for free today? What?
well,
pay the
I
bill.
wonder, Do you get drunk on the power?
I was thinking like this.
Are you like
this is
the
kinda like-
pepperoni is for the
Just
kids?
making sure that just something about that kitchen area, right? That it's like
Right.
people don't cross into it. If you're the one serving the pizza,
Right.
they have to ask you for it.
Yes.
Why psychologically, why do these people who work at this school and are here every day think that they have to ask me for a piece of pizza?
It's Gordon Ramsay's fault. That's why. Because Gordon Ramsay says, "Donkey, don't cross the line, don't." That's why.
I never watched that show.
I
There's
really like
something I
Gordon
just-
Ramsay. Something
know,
about him.
Fuck all those shows, honestly. I fucking hate them.
Why?
Because the kitchen has always been, sure, there's stuff that happens and stuff, and we joke around about front of the house, back of the house.
Yeah.
But it has got to be a well-oiled machine of everybody at least respecting what has to happen.
Yeah.
Even if you hate the next guy, you're never trying to sabotage somebody.
No.
You're
Yeah, of
always working towards satisfying that guest, whether you
Yes.
want to or not.
Yes.
It's a compulsion to do this.
Yes.
Right? And making the whole restaurant industry to outsiders and people coming up through watching this show for
Yeah.
years and years think that it's about like slash and burn and like beating the guy next to you up. It's wrong. It's the wrong way to
It's
build
true.
a restaurant industry.
The industry
It's not like let's all work together and make sure this happens. It's not like they're getting. I can't speak to it too much because I just dislike it so much. I just never watch it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they should or should not do, but I get the gist. Obviously.
Yeah.
We've been around this, people in
Yeah.
these shows and all this kind of stuff for a long time.
But nobody wants.
Plus, it's fucking. Sorry, I'm on a little bit.
Go
of a
ahead.
rant.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
When they
Let it
do
out.
these shows, it's not like here's a group of ingredients. There's something that is just too wildly unable to judge about them.
Like when they're like, "Oh, we added toilet mint to your basket."
No, but like you should have a specific thing to make some specific thing. Never mind. I know that there's some shows that are like that.
Well, here's the
But-
thing. If the show was today's Tuesday and we're short on halibut, so the goal of the show is to get the servers to push the salmon so that we don't have to 86 it in the nightly recap, I'm pretty sure nobody would watch that show.
They'd be like, the halibut setup is great, but with the salmon on it, it's really
Oh,
fantastic.
it's my favorite. It's like what I do lately. So that way, chef could yell at you for switching the proteins. Like, my actual versus theoretical is going to be crushed now. But
That's exactly what it is. You switch that, they ring in salmon, but it's with all the
ring in halibut sub salmon, and somebody in the
system-
back office is freaking out
Our system goes
because
that hot.
8 olives are now being allocated to the wrong dish. It's like we're over 24 olives. What fucking happened? Anyway, so, but in general, none of the good stuff sells.
What are we
None
talking
of,
about?
none of the cohesion, the team, the working together sells.
Well, sure, but it just, and I get that it's a
Nobody
thing.
wants to watch
I
that
just don't want to
show.
support it. I
Nobody wants to watch that show. It's like 2 fryers went down and the team worked together to push roast sides. Google review gave it 4.6 for the day. Great job, team. No.
It's all about
People want to hear about line cook screwed the daughter of the owner behind his back and then stole a whole sheet tray of ribeyes, and you're short a line cook and you got to let him work this shift, but tomorrow we're going to fire him because whatever.
And that's all true. That's all true.
That also happens.
That also happens. But about like a team coming together to produce something. That's what I feel like is missing. in
When
these
you
shows.
come to
That all happens and the diner still gets fed well, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Like you still don't compromise the food in order to.
I got to tell you, there's one show that got me to like Gordon, and he to me is really funny. He's Gordon. I like all of them now. I used to
Played
hate
out
them
can
all.
it be? I mean, what are we on season 50? Like
Season
come on.
50
Like,
of
now
angry
they watch the
British
show
Michelin chef
Right.
yells at inexperienced
Just put it on repeat,
American
and it's
line
the
cook.
Same show.
Yeah.
Year after year.
Well, here's the thing. So there was this one show that I saw where Gordon Ramsay raised a pig at his house in London with his family. And the entire experiment of the show was they were going to raise this pig, but then Gordon had to feed him, had to like essentially raise the pig himself. And then at the end of the series, he had to slaughter the pig himself and feed it to his family.
That's just gratuitous.
Dude, it was so over the top. And, you know, the pig is like watching television and eating popcorn with them. And then towards the end of the show, they slaughter the pig and they watch Gordon like crying. Like, and I think he ended up like making pork chops with like pickled mustard.
Crying through it?
Yes.
Why?
It was
What do you
like,
think the point of that was?
the point of it was, number one, gratuitous emotional interactions.
Sure.
It was also, I think, to show like the connection between food and
Yeah. I get the
whatever.
purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know, something about that show gave me so much respect for him. Not because, you know, like, of course the premise is kind of sad and like over the top, but I loved, it showed a level of humanity. I'd never seen Gordon cry. And I'd also never seen.
Sucked you right in.
Sucked me
Sucked
right
you
in, got me. And then you put yourself in their position. You're like,
You know,
what
no,
would I do?
This is what happened. Like the producers were saying, you know, we just got to tone down the angry, ranting chef
Right.
thing. We need to see you cry.
Right.
We need to like balance this out a little bit. That's
Right.
what happened. Come on.
Right. We need to see you cry. So we called the Paris casino and told them not to pay you 1 month of your management contract. God, that would be a real episode.
Right.
I'd love to go to the
You want to see
CFL.
tears.
Yeah. You want to see real tears? So, okay, so back to being a great guest. So I think great guest number one
That pig
is
sounded like a great guess.
do everything you can to attract gay couples, because then you're limiting the amount of children that come into the dining room.
Not no more.
No, that's true. No, that was all my gay friends love that joke. I'm the
that-
best guest because
You're like a 50-year-old guy named Ron sometimes with this stuff.
I like it. Yes, I'll
Nothing
be
against
Ron.
people named Ron. Sorry.
Nothing against people. No, but like, you know, look, I think all my gay friends are like, we're the best. We spend money, we drink most times we go out. We're not worried about saving for college funds. You know, like we're the best guests you can have, and I'm willing to agree. Okay,
So you don't like children in the dining room. We went through that whole circuitous conversation to come back to like actually leave your kids at home.
No, you know what? Look,
Come more to the Burgundy. Don't care about the children.
if you're a 5:30 turn, bring the kids. Otherwise, if it's past 6:30, think twice. One for the child.
Yes.
The child doesn't want to sit down.
No.
When do kids ever want to sit down?
But also like speed it up. You know what I mean? This is kind of what I
Yes.
mean about the
Well,
wait
right.
staff knowing like, would you like me to bring these out first? Yes, please. Bring that stuff out first. You know, like,
Right.
keep it moving. Like it's a different.
You know what? A child walks in, 2 things should happen.
Crayons,
5 things. Crayons, some sort of thing to write on.
plastic cup.
Plastic cup, straw. Tenders should just
Appear.
drop.
Right.
They should. Don't even ask the parents if they want tenders. Tenders should drop. Although I'm sure there's all kinds of fancy new parents
yeah.
that are like, my child can't blah blah blah, and I'm sure I'm going to be one of those one day if I have kids. I will be that guy who's like, is there seed oil in the fryer? And I think the last thing is keep it moving.
Yes.
Right? We're all here to limit the danger.
It's going to go bad at some point.
Oh,
right?
avoid.
You have
It
a
will
time
go
frame.
bad.
It will go bad. If it's left to go too long, it will go bad. So it'll be a nice experience if you just like keep it clipping along.
Okay, so keep it
Glass
moving.
of wine for the parents right away.
Glass
what can I
of
get
wine
you to
for the
drink?
parents,
Boom.
yes.
Just get it going. Like,
Right.
Really
Let's
pick up
move
the
this
pace.
along.
Yes.
Right. And then with that, servers, we should be thinking to ourselves, let's avoid dishes that take a long time.
Yeah.
Well done filet mignon is not going to be a short cook time. Let's butterfly that. Or even better, let's push the flounder. right? It's thinner. It's going to come out way faster.
expensive, you get a
Maybe
bigger
we need to communicate to the kitchen too. Child terror on table 4. You know what I mean? Everyone is suffering on table 4, including the child.
Get these people out.
So, what else? I mean, is your kiddo into the buttered noodles or eh?
No, not
No?
really. It depends on the restaurant, honestly.
Oh, so when you're serving pizza at the school, do you notice anything in like I feel like there's a peanut epidemic in our country.
Oh, you just don't. There's no. What does that have to do with pizza? First off.
Well, because when I was a kid growing up, like it wasn't a big deal. Peanuts were everywhere, peanut butter and jelly, blah 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 blah. I feel like now, like there's kids that have allergies so bad that if you like have peanuts in the
Pizza?
no, like
No, I know what you're talking about. But you said.
Well,
by the
I'm
way,
just saying.
pizza. What about this peanut thing?
Oh well, I don't know. I just
Chicken
wondered
thigh
if there's
pizza with.
yeah. Is there things that they're like you have to be careful with the pizza? Oh, I guess the pizza just comes in.
No, it's just pizza.
It's just pizza.
Yeah.
Do you guys bring in more than one pizza? Is it just cheese pizza or is there a
It's no, just cheese pizza. Easy
All right.
peasy. It's like 50 pies. It's a lot.
50 pies?
But you know, kids take
How
two,
many
three
slices
pieces,
do you
they
eat?
Like one.
How many slices do you eat?
It depends how much is left over. But I'm good for 2.
You're good for 2
I'm
slices?
good for 2 slices.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you a folder?
Why do you think I do it? No, not so much. It depends on how drippy it is. If it's like hot and there's still like some grease coming off the cheese, I'll
Then
give it
you
a fold.
fold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But otherwise, it's usually chilled out by that point, so
Ooh.
I could just slam it back.
One of my dirty little things that I do, and I know that most
where is this going?
well, I know most pizza lovers are not going to like this, but I'm not supposed to eat gluten, right? I've
Yeah,
turned
we've
into the
talked about
problem
this
that
several
I've
times.
turned
We
into
all
the
know.
problem that I
All
make fun of.
10
Yeah.
people.
Yes.
know this
including
by
my
now.
not even. You know what? My mom's one of the 10 people that listen to this show, and she still doesn't quite understand
That you're-
what a gluten allergy is.
That's why we.
My
keep
mom will
bringing
be
it.
like, "So, I didn't get the pumpkin pie. I got the apple pie instead because I know you had that thing." And I'm like, "Thanks, Mom. Thanks. It's all wheat. Okay.
It's the crust.
So I get you bread instead."
It's crust on top. That's,
Yeah. But when the pizza cools down to the right temperature in one foul swoop,
You just wipe off the cheese.
you can just take the cheese and like corral the sauce, and I'll
That's your
down
little-
that it just tastes like pizza.
But you were never a pizza guy. Even when you were eating gluten, pizza wasn't your thing. I thought it was like a Spanish
you know what
thing.
no,
When you're
you-
feeling like you're from Barcelona.
I'm
you're like,
never from Barcelona.
No?
No. I'm Basque, bro.
Yeah,
That's
depends.
That's
As soon as you
Catalonia.
move to south
That's
of
its
Spain,
own
you'll be
country.
from-
That's
yeah.
its own place. But no. You know what it is? I was always more of a cheesesteak guy. Always more of a sandwich, like Italian hoagies.
Sure.
The shit, right? I like pizza, but growing up, pizza for us was Domino's or Pizza Hut. It wasn't
Little
like
Caesars?
I probably had it a couple times, but you know, it's not like. I remember one time I went to my friend Johnny's house, who lived in the same apartment complex as us, and his mom made pizza, and I'll never forget. Like, it was in a pan on top of the oven for Johnny when he came home. Like, the closest I ever got to that was like chicken franks. Like that I would microwave, you know, or cook up on a saute pan. This guy would come home to like focaccia. Like he's like, "Come over." One time to me, "Come over. You know, we eat a little pizza." And I'm like, "Okay, let's eat some pizza." And I'm thinking he's gonna have like an old Domino's box in his. Dude, his mom made him like a hand kneaded like focaccia in a cast iron with like sliced tomatoes and shit on it. And I was like, is this what it's like to be Italian? And I was so fucking jealous. And he gave me the corner piece, bro. And I just remember it like grease and like olive oil just like dripping down my face with garlic and I just
Transformative.
and like it had like a ricotta cheese and stuff. And I was just like, is this every day? And then I tried to be his friend, and I think mom started
was
to
like, "Don't
notice.
bring that kid back. Don't bring that little Spaniard back anymore."
Exactly.
Yeah.
He eats like there's no food at his house. So, okay, so we got the children out of the way.
Oh, we're still on dining etiquette.
I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cap this here, since I'm sure you probably should call and check in on the little guy. And we'll follow up on a next episode on, aside from children, things you can do.
I hope he's sleeping.
He better be, right?
Yeah.
Things that we can do as guests. We haven't even touched it. But I think the most important thing as a parent is just remember it takes a village, but I'm not a part of your village.
You got to be invited in.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll bring the crayons. You bring the...
and you're in the village.
I guess. All right.
You are part of the village.
Yeah,
it
you're
takes
right.
a village, and you're in it. There's no
All right.
escaping it. You're
There's
paid
no
to be there.
escaping it.
That's why you're there. You're there because you're
Maybe-
working for that tip.
Maybe what we can do is to do a commensurate, a gratuity offset.
Gratuity offset.
Every child you bring into a restaurant that doesn't get a full meal or split a portion of a meal, $20.
A child fee.
A child
corkage
fee.
but a child fee.
Like a corkage fee. Yes.
I'm down.
You down with this, Tone?
Yes, I'm down with that.
All right, guys. You heard it here first. There's a child fee moving forward. Etiquette.
It comes with crayon.
Rule number
right?
one.
It comes.
It
with
must
crayons.
come with crayons.
There's got to be a little bit
If
here.
there's a crayon,
a little bit of a package.
there's a child fee.
Sounds
Done.
good.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
Thank you.
You can also be the infamous protagonist of an episode. Send your letters to herd@overseasoned.us. Our staff is waiting for them.